Welcome back to another episode of Julie Laughton Podcast. Today we're going to talk about how to plan your remodel and avoid surprises and costly delays.
Welcome to the Julie Laughton Living Podcast, the place to get advice, tips, and tricks to building the life and luxury home of your dreams with 30-year business owner, designer, and builder, Julie Laughton. It all starts with a good plan. This is Julie Laughton Living.
Okay, so here's the problem with remodels. If you don't plan, investigate, ask questions from every entity you're going to be dealing with, you're going to have delays because you didn't know something. You got to talk to the city, you got to talk to the homeowners, you got to talk to the county, the coastal commission, and then you got to draw the plans, right? So the biggest problem in remodels, what causes delays, is the client changing their mind after the construction starts because maybe they just want to change their mind, or maybe they didn't go over the plans good enough before it started. There's something where, oh, I got to change this. So that starts a snowball effect of delays and cost overruns. So the only way to plan ahead and minimize surprises is to do your homework, work with your architect and your designer, and finish all your selections and take your time reviewing the plans. Don't say, oh, I'll look at it later, because you have to sign up on the plans and approve things during the process. So if you're not paying attention, or maybe you have a couple and one's not paying attention, the other one is, and then and then the other one shows up during construction, oh, I want to change this. It's really not good for anybody. So the big thing with me, I like to get everybody sat down and we go through the plans thoroughly. And I always say, we're not starting anything until you pick all the materials and all the selections, because just picking a couple things could trigger delays and changes. So don't do anything after demo. Do all your homework in advance. Okay, the biggest difference is when you hire a true design build team versus you going out, possibly owner builder, or picking people you know that don't know each other, is just that. When you do a design build team, in my case, I'm just one that does the job of 11 people. But when you hire the other teams, the architect, the designer, the 5 to 7 engineers, and the contractor and the landscaper, you hire a team that knows each other, and they all have the same level of experience and the same level of awareness, and they know what to ask, and they know how to do their job, and they know how to work with the city or the county or wherever you're at. So they have experience not only in their careers, but working with each other. So the biggest thing about all my projects is we always plan ahead. I always insist on the materials be selected in advance. So my biggest benefit to the client is to get both of the couple, or even if it's one person, get them, make sure that even if they're really busy and they're traveling, they got to focus on the plans. And it always saves time and money if we can get them to focus before we pull the trigger and pull the permit. And then, of course, once they review the plans and select the materials, the bid is final, so then they see that. But everything's got to be selected before we start the construction. And that's the only way to really promise that we can stay on budget, but I can't control it if the client makes changes. I think my best tip for homeowners who are about to start a remodel is do your homework. Make sure you know who you're working with. Make sure you know they're qualified. Make sure they know each other if there's a team you're working with. And really do your homework about what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you're going to get sidetracked, change your mind. Try to fine-tune, almost laser focus on this is what I want. Even if it's just pictures from a magazine, that's all you need. But you got to have your thoughts of your vision of what you want and how you want to feel and look kind of nailed down before you start. And then the professionals will do their job and pull it together. But if you know what you want, that's when it really starts. Remodels are known for possibly being nightmares, but they don't have to be. If you start with a good plan and you start with a good team and you are knowledgeable about the process before it starts, and you know how much it's going to cost, and you know what's going to happen if you change your mind 1,000 times, and you know what's going to happen if you change your mind after construction, there won't be any surprises. So if you plan, it all starts with a good plan, there's no surprises. And you know the consequences of changing your mind does cost time and money, but as long as you know what's happening up front, there's no more surprises, right? Thank you for joining me on another episode of Julie Laughton Podcast on how to plan your remodel and avoid costly mistakes and delays. Don't forget to check out my 7 simple steps, because it does outline everything you have to do from conception to completion and how it all really works. And it's a great place to start before you actually start your process.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Julie Laughton Living. For more information or to connect with Julie one-on-one, visit julielaughtonliving.com. And don't forget, it all starts with a good plan.